It is 4:30 p.m. in Lagos, Nigeria, 10:30 a.m. in New York City, 5:30 p.m. in Johannesburg, South Africa, and 7:30 p.m. in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. Wherever in the world you are watching us, welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes Africa. My name is Rudolf Okonkwo. My co-host, Chido Onoma, is on assignment.
I don't listen to teachers. I don't do assignments in class. So when she sent it to me, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to find a way to do this for her and please her because I'm very anti-intellectual. Very, very. I don't like intellectual discussion. I don't like it bothers me. That's why I didn't finish university. It's a lifestyle that is not good for me. Seriously. But what can we do?
What can we do? In a 2016 Premium Times interview, he said that Chinua Achebe's classic novel, Things Fall Apart, should be buried and never made to resurrect because Achebe's writing, Things Fall Apart, at that age was not intelligent and he was not exposed. Recently, he weighed in again on what he called the Adichie Akweke Obanje matter, saying that Chimamanda Adichie created Akweke Emezie monster and that Akweke was not an Obanje and that Akweke needed to check into a mental home. If Oscar Wilde had reincarnated in Africa, he must have come back as Onyeka Nwalue. Professor Onyeka Nwalue is an academic visitor at the African Studies Center at the University of Oxford and a visiting scholar at the Center for African Studies at the University of Cambridge. He has written over 21 award-winning books. Professor Onyeka, welcome to the show.
I ran away from UNN, and I ran away because of a lecturer who was abusing me verbally. Also, I wanted to run away, because the teaching methodology was very, very boring. This lecturer, her name is Dr. Ezekwesili. UNN students are here, they know her, GS 101. So she will come, she will be walking like this, like she's pregnant. And you know why I like to mention names, so that you don't think I'm lying. So she will come and walk up, and I'm not trying to spite her as well, but she's the reason why I left. So I need to tell her the truth. Foreign university, why are you telling us? We are here, you're teaching us here, and you're telling us rubbish. And you're actually teaching from a textbook that we have. So what is the essence of you calling yourself a teacher when you can't teach from your heart? You need to teach what you know. And this is why I found the question the writers asked me very ridiculous. Because I'm teaching African studies. I've traveled to 45 countries at the age of 27. I'm very arrogant, but this is what I learned as a child. Pride and honesty can only take you to where you want to go to. I've been privileged, very, very privileged, not by any connections from any family, but still, there is a way you can ride on the glory of your background. I'm related to Charlie Boy. No, I'm not joking.
Onyeka, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think we can hear you.
Okay.
So, let me confess something. I mean, I met you in New York and I know you. I thought I knew you until I said overnight, just let me do a little research, see where you are and things going. I was so amazed. I felt like you are probably our own Oscar Wilde. No, seriously. I went through your tweets for the last 2 days. Amazing. We have a lot to talk about. Let me start by a lot. So it's amazing, and I hope our guests, our audience, will watch. And I think you have something special. Let's start by looking at the political environment in Nigeria. That's where we normally start. What is going on? I see some of the tweets you sent out. It appears you have a candidate you are supporting for president. Do you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I have.
And who is that?
And his name is Mr. Peter Obi.
Why?
Before Peter Obi, there was Kingsley Mohale. And I remember being contracted by someone, not Kingsley Mohale himself. And the contract was not moneyed. It had no monetary value to it, but it was Professor Wole Soyinka sending me an email and saying that he was going to put me on a team to work for Mohale. And Mohale didn't know me at all. In fact, I met him for the first time in Oxford when he came for my film premiere of a biopic of Ojukwu that I made, Other Side of History. So he came. That was my first time of meeting him. But before then, Professor Soyinka had urged me to be on a team to work with him. And before Professor Mohale, there was Showore, whom I was part of the team that organized this town hall meeting in Pretoria when I was living in South Africa. I had the privilege of having access to him. So the people that I support are people that I know genuinely will bring some sort of change to Nigeria. When Professor Mohale didn't win the primaries in his party, and I thought, looking at what Mr. Peter Obi has done, and the way he's consistent with his narrative, the way he shows himself up where he's necessarily needed, I thought he's better placed at the moment. And also, it could be a tribal thing, right? It could be a tribal thing. I don't have to deny that. I've tweeted about it that I'm supporting him because he's an Igbo man, and it's okay if other people support their own people because they come from different tribes. But I also think it's time to have a president from the Igbo land, as the other party presidential candidate of APC has said is his turn. I think every tribe should say it's also their turn. Every tribe has the right to say it's their turn, but the other guy is saying it's his own turn. But I'm saying it's the turn of this tribe, not this person. Now, another statesman that I admire a lot, President Obasanjo, has said he's endorsing him. So Peter B is my choice, and I think every young person should go with me.
Very good. Are you part of the campaign in any way?
No, I am not. I even tried to volunteer, but I think they are too busy to consider people like us who are not important. So I'm running my own thing individually. I chatted with Mr. Val Ezigbo. I don't think they want. I said I want to volunteer, but no positive response. But I said, okay, let me go to Twitter and show my support in my own way.
Yeah, I saw some of your tweets, and one of them you were responding to this People's Gazette story where it says Igbos overcrowding Lagos because Obi refused to develop Anambra State by Tinubu.
Yeah,
you retweeted a tweet along that. What do you think about such headlines?
No, I think I like to call him Baba because we need to respect our elders. I think Baba Tinubu is very old, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but old age can be a disease. No, I'm not I'm not aspiring to get to that age really, because this world is full of stress, and I don't know how. That's why when I see old people like Wole Soyinka, James Corey, and the rest of them, I really want to understand how they're able to live up to 80. They have seen the world go round like this. They are not bored, or they are bored. Maybe they are bored, but then I'm not aspiring to get to that age. That's why I live my life like a speed train, so I can finish the things that I want to do right now and then move on to the great beyond. So I think what some of the things he says, I mean, Tinubu himself, he says them because he's no longer here. He's no longer here. He's already an ancestor. Yeah.
For them. Oliver, you're next. I'll unmute yourself and ask a question.
Dr. Damages, I'm just glad about the work you are doing yourself. I know it's not easy to coordinate these things. And my brother Onyeka, I see a lot of me in you. That is not being arrogant. It's just complimenting some of the things you've said. The only difference is that you are very outspoken, more than I am. I'm one of those who choose my own way of saying my own things. So I give you kudos. It's not easy to say those things, and because when you say those things, you bring the challenge, you bring the game, and it comes back with a lot of things on your side to do to protect yourself and to also continue to fight the battle. So I thank you for what you are doing. I don't have a question. I enjoyed listening to you, and I say more kudos and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oliver. Igbo Basic, welcome to the show.
All right, Onyeka.
Sir?
Chukwu gozie gị.
Chukwu goziekwa gị o.
I'm blessed to be in the presence of great men like you, Rudolf, Okonkwo, I'm very pleased and happy to have showed up today.
Thank you.
I have been around the block for quite some time. Let me take it from when you mentioned the issue of Biafra. And I will say that nobody will claim to be more Biafra than I am. Let me be very blunt. I'm an Igbo person. I'm Igbo. Onye gas na yabu more mafo than Ibe, as long as I'm Igbo. My Biafran experience in Afia attack is all I can always refer to, and it teaches me and carries me forward. So I don't have much to contribute or say as far as that one is concerned for now. But I'll just do a 1-2 punch. When you talked about Wole Soyinka, I've never met the man in person. But I've written at least a book that has him participating in that book. One of such books is this book here, Mazi Okonkwo, Journey from Medicine to Theater Arts, in which Wole Soyinka's comment was, he described Mazi Okonkwo as a seasoned broadcaster, a comic performer. Those are our forefathers that came before us. I have met Chinua Achebe on several occasions, and it was indeed a pleasure and a privilege to have been with him. Now, there is another giant that is still out there. Mazi Okonkwo died a couple of years ago. Until his death, people were thinking he's been dead for a long, long time. But the Mazi Okonkwo finally died at the age of 90-something. Chief Zebrudaya Okorigwe Nwobe, Alliance 430. I'm sure that a lot of us who are here will know that name. He's out there, and as it stands right now, we are doing a book, the Book of Zebrudaya, on that great man. Dr. Cyril Anyoke, Okmane, Dr. Sally Okogu. These are some of the people who are in this project with me. And I'm going to drag my brother here, Rudolf Okonkwo, into it at this stage because we have given ourselves a task that this has to be done within the next 90 days. So you can imagine the stage we are in now on that book. In a nutshell, Onyechukwu goziri ogoziele ya, Destiny, I'm talking about Onyeka Nwelue. The path you are walking in life is the path Chineke dunyere gị ga-eme. Akara aka bụ akara aka. Nobody will take it away from you. We fear nothing. We fulfill our part and we'll move on. Having said that, I think I'm just going to sum it up by saying I'm not too much of a reader, but my children read. They read and they read and they read. I think I've said the much I have to say, and I'm going to ask a question. One, Onyeka Onwelue, which you know the name Chief Zebrudaya.
I know him.
I think a lot of us have been impacted by the special spoken language of that man. And about 3 or 4 of them now remaining alive. In fact, 3 on that stage. Ovularia, we've interviewed her. She's in Port Harcourt. Claudius Mbojikwe is in Aba. We've also interviewed him. And then Chief Zebrudaya Okonkwo as 4:30. We'll be meeting with him tomorrow. Anyway, for the stage where we are now. So I'm using this opportunity to ask. I'm using this opportunity to ask, by the gift that God has given you, Onyeka and Rudolf, the rest of the gentlemen here, I'm not quite sure that we've met, that the part that we play, I published a book called Igbo Basics. It wasn't by that I wanted to do that, but since 1995, I published one small book, Igbo Basics for Beginners in America. And what brought about me publishing Igbo Basics for Beginners in America was when my daughter, who is now, by the way, a lawyer and a prosecutor, when she was being born, my son was asked, what are you going to name your sister when she's born? And he says, I know, Pinocchio. Pinocchio. That word Pinocchio was what resulted into this humble book, Igbo Basics for Beginners in America, which we are simply giving to anybody. We just give it away. Please, learn Igbo language. So it's a wake-up call. Having said that, I am not much of a speaker, but I've observed a great blessing this morning by the combination of the people we have here. 3 things that I said that will happen this year, and I dare say it again. Nkembo, that Peter Gregory Obi will be elected president of Nigeria. Mark it. Our brothers, no law. We will go out and vote because if you are not in the center, so we will all participate. Obi will be elected president of Nigeria. The book of Zebrudaya will be published for posterity's sake. My humble self, I will join my people in Ibere. I'm from Ibere, where Mazi Okono is from, where Commodore Amadi Ikweche was from. I will join my people to do my traditional Ebotomma retirement from active service. I'm 68 plus. And if I can drag Dr. Damages, who, by the way, I ran into the other day in New York, I'm like, my brother, where have you been? So in whatever corner where we are, let us, for heaven's sake, realize that So my question to you is, what can you do to make sure that those giants like Chief Zebrudaya, they are not forgotten? I didn't choose to do this. It fell on my head. And the name is larger than life. It's larger than me. So it's an appeal I'm making to you and Rudolf. What can you do to make sure that it's taken to the level where it should be?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Let me respond quickly. What I can do is to liaise with you when the book is done, to have a UK edition of it, published in the UK and sold here and distributed and celebrated. Because, like I said, I have other projects that I have established on other legends. Akache Zibo, Flora Wapa, and the rest of them. So, so my contribution to this could be the UK publisher for this project when it's ready. And we can also develop films on them. Because I don't know if you know about Area Scatter. Have you heard of Area Scatter?
Yes, I have.
So I'm making a film on Area Scatter as well. How did she disappear or he disappear? Whatever happened to that character? What is where could we find a solution to some problems? So I am making a biopic of Flora Mapa as well, when she was visited by Hele Celestia in Enugu, when Kwabiasika was there. So all these are some of the contributions that I'm doing, but it will not hurt to work with you on your projects.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Onyeka. Thank you, Mazi.
By the way, my name is not Igbo Basics.
How he did now?
My name is Chief Alexander Iheke. Alexander Iheke.
Mr. Oliver has a question.
Okay, let's start with, Oliver, you go first.
Yes. Actually, yeah. Initially, like I said before, I enjoyed what I heard from my brother Onyeka, and I didn't have a question. But as we continue to interact, I said a few things came to mind that I wanted to bring up, which is basically I'm interested more in the artistic aspect, your writer, filmmaker aspect, and the Africa Writer series that you're doing. Rudolf, here, I know you mentioned something about Rudolf publishing in 2006. Rudolf and I go a long way back in the 90s.
Oliver, stop. It's just now that I know who Oliver is. You guys, I didn't know who was there. Sometimes people on the show, and I don't remember. But now I just look at him. Let me tell you guys a story. I was in Kenya on an assignment to cover the election in Kenya in 2017, and my driver was telling me about Nollywood and Nollywood actors, African actors, and he said, "Do I know them?" I said, "Well, I know some of them." He said, "Do you know this slave trader? Is it what is the name of the movie? Slave
Warrior.
Slave Warrior. Do I know Oliver?" I said, "What do you mean, Oliver? I know Oliver." He said, "Do you know him?" I said, "Let me call him." I called Oliver from Kenya. And the guy spoke to Oliver on the phone, and he felt like I'm the biggest person in this world. So I didn't know that it's the Oliver. Oliver, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that it was you. But now that you said, I said, oh my goodness. Okay. Oliver is a great movie maker here in, I think he's in New Jersey now. And
Oliver Mbama.
Yeah.
Yes, Mbama, yes.
The great man. I came to interview Zebrudaya in your place in
Yes. So when you were talking about Zebrudaya, I was thinking he had a culture in TV series with Zebrudaya.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was the same thing you were thinking. I was thinking of people like Zebrudaya. They've given much to the society, and with Nollywood going the places Nollywood was going, people were not hearing much about Zebrudaya. There were people like Jagede was sick, Gregory was having eye problem, was blind, and
it's Clarus that is blind.
Sorry, Clarus was blind. Gregory also had issues later, and I was like, how is it that these are people that are of value to the society, and we just let them just fade away, and they die of things and suffer from things that can be easily taken care of by the society. And I was like, if we're in a place where the government or maybe the institutions are set to protect these assets, you look at Pele. Pele is a Brazilian asset. And if you look at what people like Zebrudaya did to us and what they brought, how they entertained us, there are values that we should protect. But we don't do that. And like Onyeka was saying, when they die, we come and with them, we tweet and we say, oh, they were great. But when they were alive and they had issues and suffering, we're not helping them. As Rudolf knows, I'm a civil servant. Even though I like films, I do films with what I say from my civil service work. But I was able to bring Zebrudaya here because my idea was to resuscitate that value and that importance he had. And that was why I brought Zebrudaya here. Yeah. And we did the culture series, which my brother Ibu Basic was talking about. He came to my house here and interviewed Zebrudaya. And I continue to be in touch with Zebrudaya. And let me just say it here, Zebrudaya, if you can call him and give any support, please call him and give some support because he had some issues he was going to health-wise. And that's why I said, let me just come back again and say my brother Onyeka, because as I said, I see a lot of you in me because I have things I'm doing here and there and there and there, but the challenge of money is there, but that doesn't stop you. And I also believe that you don't have to take money to give away your freedom. And that's one of the things that I believe strongly on. If it's a question of give money and then limit my expression of my artistic talent or my opinions, then I don't take the money. And I see those things and I agree with it. But what I wanted to say so that others can come in is I wanted to say, Onyeka, you mentioned about writing books. Most of my films, like Rudolf had mentioned, they are meant to bring up some of these issues that are ignored. I'm actually working on something now about our Nigerian Igbo nation, and I'm saying I would like to know how we can, how you accept content. Do you have a way of submitting it? Do we have a way where we go to submit it? So that we can know, and if any other writer or content creator in the forum can know how you source your material so that we can know how to submit, whether you have to go through some process to look at them and then consider them. Because I've published a few works here and there, and but something about yours seems to click for me because it's coming from somebody who understands what I have gone through, where I am, and where I'm coming from. And I hear you say you're from Ezok, I'm from Mbano too, so there's a lot of connection there. So not to take away time. So when you and Dr. Damages, Rudolf, how do you share this information so that we can know how to bring our content to be considered for the Africa Writer Series, which from what I've heard, you've done a lot of great work, and thank you for that, because those things are very important. People interested in money let me just do money. But the substance that supports the roots of that money, we ignore. There are a lot of institutions like Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, Zebrudaya, all these people we're talking about. They are great pillars that we can learn from. Imagine Zebrudaya teaching comedy in a university. Isn't it possible?
Thank you.
Imagine people like Wole Soyinka who has been there, and so let me just stop there. But please, when you have the chance, let us know how we can, because I think it was CM that said something about what can we do to create these things. And Onyeka rightly pointed out that we are doing things on our individual basis.
In fact, let me invite CM. We have a workshop at the University of Oxford, writing and publishing workshop from January to February ending. And we have writers coming from different countries, from Zimbabwe, to teach. It doesn't matter. You can come if you're 80 years, 15, 18. So it's at the university. It's free. We're not charging any money. It's free. Also about the publishing, there is www.abibimanpublishing.com. Sorry.
In Oduduwa Lounge, the Central Avenue, when the Oduduwa Lounge was still open, A gentleman came in from Lagos. He wanted us to write something about him, positive. He gave me a whiff of money. I don't know how much money it was. I gave it back to him and I looked at him and said, look at my face. Do I look like a cockroach? And the guy said, what do you mean a cockroach? I said, because if you go to any bottle of palm wine and you see a dead insect, it's a cockroach because he doesn't know the size of the stomach. The guy will never forget that till his dying day. What does it mean? For me to tell lies because you gave me money, that's not going to happen. And on the other hand, we talk about Igbo Basics, one of the longest Igbo publications in the United States since 1995. We have come this far because nobody has been allowed to come in and defecate the floor with their monies. We are online, igbobasics.com. It's the same Igbo Basics that led us to meet with Oliver, our brother here. And to my brothers who fight because of Biafra, there's a book I have here. It says, Ofia Became Home.